We're now on page 27 of your working file, Perfect Shapes, and these really do come in very handy. Well, on the toolbar, our previous lesson we worked with the graph paper tool, so you'll have that most likely selected there. Directly underneath we have Basic Shapes. So if we just click on the little flyout, well, I should say Perfect Shapes, but in that case the Basic Shapes was selected first. So we will make sure that we work with Basic Shapes first. So select this, and the first thing you'll notice is on the toolbar 3 options: outline, width, the type of outline you might want to work with, and then the basic shape itself. Always select your shape, draw your shape first, and then apply the other 2 if you want to change to, say, a dotted line or something alternate. Anyway, so let's pick a basic shape, and I'll first of all go with, say, a smiley face. Now if I simply click and drag, I don't even have to put my finger on the control key. That's why it's a perfect shape. And we have a smiley face. Now for all of these objects we're about to draw, you'll find the majority of them have 1 or 2 nodes. There'll be a red one, a yellow one, or in some cases even a blue one. Simply hover your mouse over the node and you'll notice that automatically it turns to the shape tool. Simply click and drag. In this case I can only move it up and down, make it a sad face, or make it an even more smiley face. Let's delete that one. Selecting another object, if for example I were to go with, say, the little, actually I'll go with the triangle because triangles are really handy. Click and drag, finger on control in this case for a perfect triangle, or just click and drag to create the shaped triangle you want. When you release your mouse, this is one of those that doesn't have a node, so you create your shape basically from the way you drag. Let me do one more for you. We'll do the no, well, I call it no smoking, but it can be a no anything, can't it? Click on the little node, and as you can see, great for sign writers, you can adjust the thickness of the shape of the no, I don't know what you call it, the strike through, we'll call it that. Okay, let's move on to the next one, arrows. Now I use arrow shapes all the time. Same properties are available. I usually mainly work with the first arrow. You'll find it's a basic arrow and you'll pretty much always work with that arrow. Okay, so hover your mouse over the little red node, and as you can see, you can reshape the arrow in whatever way that you want. Really, really handy for all types of designs you might need to use an arrow for. Coming down a little bit further, if I go to a completely different type of arrow shape, a 4-cornered. Now here's one that has the 3 nodes. So you can see that the red node increases the size of the square in the middle. And we can see that the blue node stretches or actually adjusts the angle of the point. And then the yellow node actually changes the point. See that? So the yellow node gives you that sort of bladed edge to your point. The blue one, pull that down, and that sort of stretches your, what would you call that? The shaft and the height or the angle, if you like. So lots of adjustments there for that particular one. Now let's move on to flowchart shapes. Flowchart shapes, probably not something I personally use a lot of, but I can see how they would be very, very valuable. So select your varying shapes, place them on the screen, and of course ultimately you would want to connect them all together, but they are very handy for doing business designs and all those sorts of things. But notice how the point is they create perfect shapes for you. You don't have to put your finger on control or shift or anything like that. So I'll quickly just remove those, and let's have a quick look at the banner shapes. I really like these and I do use them quite a lot. So click and drag, hover over the node, and you can see it kind of adjusts the sense of perspective, the height or the thickness of the banner. And say that one there, that's kind of a cool one too. So this one will adjust the width, as you can see, and the yellow one adjusts the height and the sense of perspective on it as well. And quickly for the last one, call out shapes, and of course that's what that is there. You'll use these lots of times throughout your design projects. Just simply click and drag, and again it's a perfect shape, no need for the control key, and this simply allows you to move or stretch your pointer to any location. I kind of like this one. I use it quite a lot, as you can see over there. Again, just simply click on the little node to move your pointer wherever you want. Now, in this case here, if we do something similar, so I make that blue, in fact, what I'll do is make that, say, black, and then plus on my keyboard, or Control C and Control V, make that blue. Just use the arrow keys and arrow up a little bit, remembering, actually, that's a really interesting point. There is the odd tool that plus on your keyboard won't work with. See that? Now hit plus and it's not actually working because I still have the actual Perfect Shapes tool selected. Need to go back to my pick tool. So there you go. Made a mistake then, but probably a good one for you to see. So if you can't get plus on your keyboard to work, or an odd thing to work, you need to change your tool back to the pick tool most likely. So in this case, again, we'll try it again. So make it black, and then plus on my keyboard for a duplicate. I'll make that blue, and I'm just going to arrow up a little bit. And as you can see, I'm kind of creating that shadow effect around my actual call out. If you were a sign writer, you might select the blue one, right click on white. So now you've got a cutout line all the way around. So the black would be cut out separately to the blue, and that's how you would do something like that. Adjusting the thickness of that, of course, if I were to say go to 2, you can see the cutout would become different. And if I arrow up a little bit more, and then to the left a little bit, anyway, you can play with that. So go ahead and play with those, and in our next lesson we're going to use the arrow and add an arrow to our card.